Bro, I was sitting here watching this video and I was thinking of a really crazy concept. Like, I was thinking, like, what if, now, hear me out, okay? I know we perceive time in a sense of like the future hasn't happened yet, okay? But what if time is like moving in a different sense? Like, what if time is moving, like, what if what has already happened, or like, what if the future has already happened? And I know it sounds crazy, but like, I'm thinking, like, okay, look, like 1,000 years from now, what if there was what if they invented a time machine and they was able to bring somebody back to this moment in time? We would think it's like crazy. We wouldn't understand it. And that's just like right now. Like if we had a time machine right now, we could go back to this time. All these people right here, they wouldn't think, no, that won't work because the future hasn't happened yet. So see, I think like part of me thinks like the future has already happened. And I was sitting here thinking too, like what if like 1,000 years from now they had a way to send like a baby or something back through time and plop it right there in its little crib, and it had to grow up in this previous time period, but yet it's from the future, but yet time moves differently for the baby because he's from a future that hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be a crazy concept? Like, 1,000 years from now, they invent some kind of time machine, and they have a way to send people back to like 2022 or whatever year. And what if like they sent like a little baby or something back to a specific year, had the baby grow up in that time, but yet he perceives time in a different sense because he's from a future that hasn't happened. It's just I know it's a crazy concept, but man, sometimes I see stuff like I'm not, I ain't no like I ain't crazy or nothing, but sometimes I'll see stuff like I'll see a video or I'll see a picture or something, and I know some people would call it deja vu or something, but to me, deja vu is something that has already happened that happens again that brings you back to a certain time. But what if deja vu was like reversed? What if you see something now and it's from something that, like, I'll see something and I'll say, yeah, okay, well, yeah, like I've seen this before, or this was supposed to happen. Like, or like I've seen this happen before. It's a really crazy kind of, I don't know, it's almost even ominous. Like a really crazy, just strange feeling that you get when you see something and you think, I've seen this before. And like I said, I've got that on multiple occasions, just randomly seeing something and then being like, wait a minute, no, why do I feel like I've seen this before? Or why do I feel like this was supposed to happen? And that's what I'm trying to say is, right now we perceive time as tomorrow hasn't happened yet. But I think it has because if 1,000 years from now, like I said, they invented a time machine and was able to send somebody back through time to right now, we would look at that person and call them crazy because we would think, no, you can't be from the future. The future hasn't happened yet. But they'd be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, it has. But what if they just, there was ways for them to change minute little, just little bitty things about stuff. Like, what if they could, or what if it was just like an experiment or something? I don't know. Like, I wish they'd make a movie, dude, where it's like 1,000 years from now they send a little, like I said, a little baby back, into a crib, and that baby had to live its life, right there in that specific moment in time. But yet he could kind of see, he could kind of, in a sense, see the future because he's from the future. He already knows what, like, is going down. Time moves differently for him because he's from he's from a future that hasn't happened yet, even though it has. See, that's what I'm saying. I think things, sometimes I think, man, time's flowing like in reverse. I think people think that tomorrow hasn't happened yet, but I think that it already has. Like, I think tomorrow has already happened, next week has already happened, next month has already happened, but we just perceive it as if time is moving forward when what if it's moving backwards? Now, the past is just the past. It's however you want to look at it. But the future, to me, it feels like the future has already happened. I don't know. It's crazy. But I just watched this video, man. It's crazy. These people, on these little buggies, and the very first, like, kind of starts, very first years of the automobile. Automobile may not have been around for like 10 years or so, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 20 years. This is 1906 in San Francisco, so look at little Johnny pulling back the curtain there. And I've watched like dozens of people just make completely random U-turns right in the middle of the street, like those two gentlemen did. Look, everybody's walking around in top hats, and that dude's like hitching a ride or something. I don't know. And they're going all the way down to the very end of it. But like, everybody's in a black suit and a top hat, just about. Like this, it looks like this dude over here, he's got some newspapers or something. Maybe this one does too. Or something, flyers or something. It's like a big trolley train thing. Do you know how cool it would be to be able to go back to this time? Like, even if it was for a day or a week or a month, dare I say 6 months to a year. Like, if you could go back to time and go back into this time, stay for an extended period of time, and then be able to go back. Like, would people? Would you? I think I would, just for the experience. I kind of think it would be like a really unique, kind of fun thing to do, Hoffman Cafe and Grill or something. It's pretty neat. And I know it's not like revolutionary or nothing, but I got like a bus token, I think, from like 1902 or something like that. It's a really neat little piece. And it just reminded me of it when I was watching this video. but it's crazy. Like half the people are in horse and buggy, and then you know, or over half, and then you've got a few, probably 35–40% that's in motorized vehicles. Look, he just completely just cut that bus right off. He's like, "Arr!" Like he just cut him off. I'm guessing this is a trolley or some sort of trolley or bus or something. I guess kind of like this right here. I mean, it seems to be traveling fairly smooth. Look at that wheel. That wheel is sitting there just wobbling back and forth. It's so kind of rutted out in a way. Almost like tracks or something. I mean, that's literally what it is, but you know. But like I said, I was just kind of spacing out a little bit, thinking about kind of just how we perceive time and how time could be, how time could be perceived in a different sense or in a different, perceived different than what we actually think it is. Or we perceive it in a different way. We think of time as something that hasn't already happened, but like, what if it has? And I know people's like, no, I control my own destiny. I do this, I do that. Well, like, no matter what you did, what if that was like what was supposed to happen? Like, I'm a firm believer, like when people say, whatever happened, or whatever was supposed to happen will happen. And I mean, like I said, you can sit here and say, well, I control my own destiny. Look, watch, I'll do this. And you do this, but what if that's, like, what if that was what you was supposed to do? The hell out of my way. And they finally made it down to the end. Eradicated 1896. It's doing a big spin around. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. Pretty neat.